everybody. This is John Yeager with Think Business. Welcome to another episode. We're excited today to have two guests that have been on the show before, Bruce Belvin with One Data Source and Cory Bennett with Bennett Thrasher. We're going to talk today about a relationship that Bennett Thrasher and One Data Source have formed to benefit the quick serve restaurant industry. Well, first, I want to reintroduce our guests. So, Bruce Belvin, welcome.
Hey, John, how are you doing today?
Doing great, thank you. Give the audience a little refresher on your background and a little bit about One Data Source.
Okay, sure. One Data Source has been supporting the quick serve restaurant vertical for almost 2 decades. We'll see 20 years in 2022, so it's coming soon. And we provide business intelligence, business process automation, automated accounts payable platforms for around 8,000 units nationwide and in Canada. And those are franchises that do anywhere from 10 million a year annual revenue to $1 billion in annual revenue. My background, I actually came from the restaurant industry before I started One Data Source, working for Taco Bell corporate in various HR and operations roles before moving over to the franchise side in the late 90s and working to build a franchise on the East Coast, which, the needs of growing that business, having standardization and better tools is what led to One Data Source. So that's the short tour of how we got here.
Awesome. Thank you. And Cory, welcome and thanks for appearing, and maybe a little bit of background for you as well.
Yeah, absolutely, John. Good to be here again. My name is, as John mentioned, Cory Bennett. I'm an audit partner, I guess by trade here at Bennett Thrasher. I know John's explained a little bit about BT before, but we're a regional size, full service accounting firm here in Atlanta, Georgia. Part of what I do is I'm the co-lead of our restaurant hospitality practice here at Bennett Thrasher. And within that vertical, we really focus heavily on the restaurant space, everything from quick serve all the way to fine dining. And within that, most of it's compliance oriented consulting on the financial reporting side, both doing audit, tax work, planning, as well as transaction advisory services. That's another area that we've spent a good bit of time in, especially with all the recent roll-ups and private equity activity and everything going on in this industry, other consolidation amongst franchisees happening as well. So within the quick serve space in particular, we've seen a lot of activity in that over the past couple of years. So something that we do a good bit of. In addition to those types of services, we also do outsourcing, and that's going to be our kind of conversation that we'll kind of elaborate on a little bit further today. But very much a significant focus. We've got clients all over the U.S., and have been fortunate to work with the guys at One Data on a handful of initiatives over the past little bit.
Awesome. So you're right. One of the main issue we're talking today about is about outsourcing and technology delivery for the QSR space. And so you and I started talking about that probably a couple of years ago. We knew that the solution we could bring to the space was of value with everything going on in the QSR world, the improved need for reporting, better data, and then certainly as institutional money came into space, there were certainly some increases in those kind of things that kind of raised the bar for the franchisees. So when we started talking about that, you brought up One Data Source as a potential partner. Tell me a little bit about the background and give the audience an idea of kind of how we came together and why we selected One Data Source to work with.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think we got connected. First off, Bruce and his team are fabulous. They are extremely well connected in this space. And, those are the types of companies and firms and people that we like to associate with. And I know I think our first face-to-face meeting was back at the Restaurant Finance and Development Conference, Bruce. I think it might have been right before COVID when we met face-to-face and then had an opportunity to follow back up at our office. But really the emphasis on that was really just data, John. I mean, my clients, I all the time hear Cory, we're using QuickBooks, we're using, whatever this application is. We can't get what we need to manage our business. We have the POS side, but it's not integrating in with our ERP system. How do we get what we need to really manage and effectively manage our business that's continuing to grow? I mean, all the roll-ups and M&A work that I mentioned before, John, that's happening, and it's creating a lot of complications and a lot of inefficiencies, and people want more automation. And so you're constantly hearing those things out in the marketplace. And so when Bruce and Chance and others came to me at One Data, it made sense. I mean, what they were offering and their abilities and their skill sets and their experience primarily was one that was really attractive to me. And I knew that we were doing outsourcing. Obviously, we're utilizing a platform that, from talking to Bruce, is something that a lot of prospects and clients want to use. And so we were thinking of a way. Okay, well, maybe there's certain limitations with that One Data can complement, and vice versa. And so we just kind of got to talking and really thought it'd be a good solution for our clients and for the quick serve space and for just all the activities going on. And so that's kind of what led to our discussions and kind of where we are today. But more importantly, I just think we're very like-minded. We have great networks. We really love this space and this industry. And I think a lot of that comes out with, our conversations and kind of what we're able to do for clients. Because I think both of us feel like client service is of the utmost importance to both firms. And, we felt that this partnership would help us better serve our clients in that space. So I think that's kind of how it developed. And Bruce, you may have some further ad lib there, but I just wanted to give you a little bit from my perspective.
Awesome. Thanks, Cory. And we were operating off the Sage Intacct platform, which is a strong enterprise tool that it has a really good base in the restaurant and QSR world for a lot of different reasons. But obviously, a lot of the data in the QSR world is captured in the POS systems, back of house systems. So we knew to have a complete solution, we would need a data partner like a One Data source. So reached out to Bruce, and we started having those conversations, and we've really kind of defined a solution. And Bruce, I'd love to have you kind of weigh in on those conversations and what that looks like, and ultimately some of the benefits that we'll be able to provide to our clients.
Sure, John. Yeah, you mentioned Intacct. Thinking about over the decade and a half that we've been, growing and working throughout the QSR ecosystem, there's so much legacy software and even thought process in QSR. It's amazing, companies that are doing 100, 200, $300 million a year really haven't embraced technology that they need to run modern day businesses, particularly with the influx of private equity money. The rate of growth in the vertical really requires a much more forward thinking process and vendors and systems. And Intacct, has an ability to collect and report on much more granular data than many of the systems, Sage 100, Great Plains, QuickBooks that Cory mentioned, just can't deal with the granularity of data that franchisees, nowadays need. Perfect example is, 2020, many QSR brands didn't do delivery. Taco Bell didn't deliver, McDonald's didn't deliver. Most of the brands didn't have delivery, and now they do. And what that brought in is all the third-party delivery companies, which just added complexity to the data and what you need to do with the data. So, while we can handle that and report against it, that's still not the full picture. That's got to be consolidated in the financial reporting, and for the analysis and the franchisees to look at all the third-party delivery fees and such. So and make decisions about, which third-party delivery vendors should they be using? How does that impact their business? What does that do to pricing, cost of sales, et cetera? And in many of the systems that are out there, it becomes a manual exercise because their ERP can't handle the granularity of the data that's needed. And that's where Intacct really plays a huge role. And while we were so excited to talk to you and Cory about this partnership and your use of Intacct and consulting around Intacct, because it does handle, all the granularity of the data to give a modern day franchise and one that's scaling quickly, all the data they need to do that successfully. So, that's kind of high level, big picture. And then, looking at being able to actually integrate with a product like the Intact using, API and modern day technology, it delivers some values that also aren't there in the legacy systems. Improve productivity in particular, particularly around remote workforce. As we saw in 2020, a lot of people went to work from home. Some people went ahead and retired early, so offices were understaffed, and having systems in place really gave them the ability to overcome those challenges and end up, QSR actually had a pretty good year in 2020, all things considered. Near real-time visibility is something else we'll be able to achieve with Intact. We'll be able to send through daily data from, sales and cash, labor, inventory, third-party delivery, voice of the customer, accounts payable data, to where we literally can roll up kind of a daily P&L snapshot, which is something that's just unheard of in the quick serve restaurant vertical. Removing those repetitive manual activities, which are where a lot of mistakes get made, adding zeros, leaving a zero off, decimal in the wrong place, just creates extra work when you're trying to get, financials out. So that's another one that's helpful. And then really, just data accessibility in general, everything kind of in one place. You're not logging into 3 or 4 different websites, trying to keep up with all the various passwords you need to hunt down bits and pieces of information. It's really one-stop shopping, which again is pretty unheard of in the QSR vertical. So, with the economics around our products, Intact, we can deliver a great platform to really help franchisees of any size run their business better, more efficiently, find more profits, and then scale easier.
Absolutely. And I know as we've kind of worked on the design of the integration that we're starting to build, one of the things that you expressed was very exciting to you was because of the multidimensional aspect of Intact, we could even get down to a P&L at a shift level,
Right.
so that you can make decisions at the shift level, determine your labor, the needs, and the cost of goods sold needs, and those kind of things.
Yeah, that's a great aspect of what we'll be able to do. I mean, the smaller day parts that we can drill into to show, where the hot zones are for, loss prevention or labor efficiencies, cost of sales efficiencies, opportunities to grow revenue. I mean, you can only cut so much expense. At some point, you've got to find your revenue opportunities. And this partnership will really let us drill into those and identify outliers, both as good opportunities and where you need to tighten up operations.
Yeah, and then the exciting thing for me is that we can deliver this at a price that's going to be very competitive in the marketplace because of our integration capabilities and our standard designs that we use on the Sage Intech side for delivering, as well as if the client's interested in outsource accounting, we have the right processes built around that to deliver what we call continuous accounting rather than historical kind of month-end accounting, which gets back to your point about real-time visibility.
Yeah, definitely. The technology will allow operators to see, snapshots of their financials every day at a much more granular level. Small day parts, which employees work those day parts, and how they affect the business, to identify superstars to really reward and train to move up into higher level roles within the company. With the economics in QSR, you're going to continue to see a real focus on having really quality shift management, and then developing those shift managers into the future's assistant managers, store managers, district managers. Over the 20 years I've been in the QSR vertical, and before that in operations, those people who grow within the brand, within the operations to higher level roles, are typically very successful and longer tenured.
Awesome. So Cory, back to you. We're going to kind of work on wrapping this up, but I just want to check in to see if you had anything else you wanted to weigh in here, but also give you a chance to provide your contact information if you'd like.
Sure. And thanks, John. Yeah, I think it's been a good discussion. From being out in the marketplace, currently, we're seeing a lot of clients that are looking to invest in technology. And so, I don't know if it's because of, the PPP or some other opportunities that were awarded, or as Bruce mentioned, the QSR really kind of, held us on during the COVID impact. And so I think a lot of people are trying to kind of learn from that and build from that. And so again, lots of requests, lots of queries about, what can we offer, what can we do? And, I think this is a good discussion about some of that that we're seeing currently. I think it's a great initiative. I think it's a product that I think our clients and prospects will well receive. Again, they're looking for data, looking for automation, looking for doing things more efficient, maybe less cost on the payroll side. All good things from what we hear in the market, and look forward to seeing this come to fruition for sure. But thanks again, John, for hosting this. But once again, my name's Cory Bennett. You can reach me at 678-302-1485, and would love to carry this conversation further where needed.
Thanks, Cory. And Bruce, how about you? Any last words? And then how should people contact you guys?
No, we're just really excited about moving into 2021 and seeing this relationship grow, with the depth of experience that your organization has around the QSR vertical and our background. It's a great partner in what's a huge industry, but a very small group of people that are involved. These kind of relationships can really pay off for the customers and help us with our businesses as well. So really looking forward to growing the relationship and continuing to support great mutual clients. You can find us at onedatasource.com, and I can be reached at area code 843-224-9130.
Great. Thanks, Bruce. So I'm going to wrap this up. This is a kind of a first step in a journey of us reaching out to the QSR world. So we'll be following up with perhaps a webinar that would give you more insight and look into the integration and the solution that we're building. We'll also have some thought leadership and some other discussions with people in the industry. So I encourage you to engage with us, and please let us know if we can be of any assistance and help, even if it's just kind of a quick call to talk about what's going on out in the marketplace from a technology standpoint. We're certainly more than willing to have those conversations. So with that, I'm going to wrap up the episode. Again, thanks, Cory and Bruce, for your time today. You can reach me at john.yeager@btcpa.net. You can also find me at Think Business. And that's, I think we'll wrap it up for today. And I hope everybody has a great day. Until next time, this is John Yeager signing off from Think Business. Thank you.